Good morning. It's the 7th of August. We're Signal Centre Talking Ball. Welcome to the Non-Farm Friday episode of Talking Ball.
Non-farm
How we
Friday
all doing?
frenzy.
Yeah. How you doing, mate?
All right, you?
Yeah, all right. As I was just saying off air, just a bit worried about my holiday next week to France. Looks like it's been put on the list.
Oh God.
So yeah, potentially 14 days of quarantine on the return, which is a little bit of a bummer because the kids need to go back to school in that time period. So looking at other options at the moment to try and salvage some sort of holiday for the year.
Juggling them around, yeah. Because
Yeah,
that's what we were thinking about. That we were thinking. I mean, you get some cracking deals at the moment, obviously.
yeah,
And we were looking at it, and Tracy was sort of saying, "Oh, we've ended up opting for camping in Dorset," but she was saying, God, you can get some deals to Portugal, and you can get this." And I said, "That's fine, but we've got the last week the last week in August off, and my youngest goes back to school on the 2nd of September, so you're a bit stumped, aren't you? And the
yeah,
old quarantine mumble." So,
yeah.
and
Frustrating.
I think that list is just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger now.
It looks that way, doesn't it? Looking at
Mm.
the numbers that are coming through, obviously we've got Spain are very, very much on there. The cases seem to be creeping up there. We've got cases in Belgium now. They've been added to the list yesterday,
Yeah.
and France doesn't look too far behind, to be honest, which is a shame.
My mate was very surprised. He lives in Barbados, and they got stuck on the list yesterday. And he said they've hardly got any cases over there at all.
Was it Bahamas rather than Barbados?
Was it? I thought it was Barbados.
I thought it was the
But
Bahamas.
I
I may
thought
be wrong.
the one I looked at was Barbados and Bahamas. But
Right.
Barbados, it had all the B's in it.
Yeah.
Barbados, Bahamas, and Belgium. So.
Yeah, Belgium and Bahamas. It says here.
All right. Maybe I was hallucinating last night. Did have a couple of beers.
And Andorra as well. So.
Oh well, I'm not going skiing yet, so I'm not really worried about that.
No, fair enough. So elsewhere, markets suffered a largely downbeat session in Asia, particularly. That was with the US targeted attack on the Chinese tech firm, raising further fears of an impending tit-for-tat escalation. News about Trump signing an executive order banning transactions with the Chinese apps TikTok and WeChat in 45 days' time. So, retaliatory action on tech giants like Apple and Microsoft as a result of that.
Stop them getting their chips on time, maybe.
Yeah, quite possibly, and that could potentially be a catalyst for a bit of a rollover in the tech stocks.
Yeah, you never know.
Something needs to burst a bubble at some point, doesn't it?
My dam's not burst yet.
No, it hasn't. Or maybe it has, and they're just not telling us.
Yeah, just keeping that quiet.
Yeah. So overall, everything from a risk perspective still looks okay. I'm just going to flash up the screen on the
Got
Nasdaq.
an interesting level on the Dow today, which I'll share in a sec.
Okay, this was the Nasdaq that we spoke about, sort of broken through this level quite convincingly. Nice bit of a pullback around here, and then further move to the upside. So no worries about that at the moment. Still looking very healthy indeed. Clearly not put off by what they're seeing in the news with regards to a bit of a tech war going on between the US and China.
Yeah. Mind you, it's non-farm Friday. Anything can happen, can't it?
It can. So
Trump said yesterday, didn't he? Watch out for a big number. He didn't obviously highlight what direction, but
yeah, he did say that. But then the initial jobless claims yesterday wasn't particularly great, was it? It was
no,
under what it was expected to be. It's a disappointing ADP figure on Wednesday. So
yeah,
who knows?
we'll wait and see.
Yeah. Anyway, what you got on the charts? So you need to share your screen.
No, sorry. Share screen. Don't want to share my other screen, that's for sure.
What's going on there?
Just secrets. Oh no,
flustered. You're flustered.
Yeah, I am now. Very. It's hot in here actually this morning. This is a daily chart. Dow. Is that a wedge? It's not really that the best wedge you've ever seen in your life, is it? No, they're normally more aggressive. But so that's the daily chart, and then you go to this hourly chart. I do like my fibs. See that? I've completely moved that out of the way. Get there. You've got a 261.8% fib here, 27483, which is very near to that trendline resistance on the daily chart. Again, not trying to stand in front of a train. And then if you go to this time frame, here's 45-minute time frame. Again, you just got these dips. That was the dip buying yesterday. We've got another wedge. And if we look to the top of that wedge, that's 274.50-ish. We go back to this time frame, 274.80. Well, it's 274.77 on the trend of higher highs and 274.80. So you've got a nice little zone up there. But like I said, it is non-farm Friday. I think you're probably going to need a breakout of this wedge formation to project it lower. So I think it's a case of we won't be writing reports before non-farm, that's for sure today. I think we'll just wait till after. And you've also got to be careful of these wedge formations. You know, sometimes they can break and just keep on tanking to the downside. But you've got to remember where the measured move target is. So again, most of the time I like to try and get in on confluence areas because your risk reward is so much better. If you're selling around here with a stop above here, above the trend line, it's much better than selling the break here. And then where do you put your stop? You've got to put it back inside the wedge somewhere. And you really want to be looking for some sort of swing high. So it knocks the risk reward out quite a lot. And what also has a tendency to happen sometimes, but not all the times, as this is trading, is that we break the wedge and then we come down and then we just get messed about until we form a head and shoulders pattern, which is quite common on wedge breakouts. So you go down to the measured move. This then becomes the head. That's the left shoulder. You hit that, come up, and then reverse. So you get people sort of chopped around in this area here. So looking at the dollar, we had a good chat on Telegram yesterday. I really enjoyed our Telegram chat with Bogdan and Khalid yesterday, and we were talking about a few sort of biases and euro yen, and it was basically about the euro and the fact that the dollar's not really going anywhere. I mean, this is the dollar chart that we talked about, potential double bottom. That was the sort of spike up in the morning. Then we had this aggressive move lower again, which probably wasn't great for our trades because the sort of 9 o'clock was around here. And then we've pushed higher again, but you really got to get a decent move to the upside for this dollar bias to change completely. And just looking at euro dollar, I mean, this is pretty choppy price action. This is an intraday chart. This is 45 minutes. I'm wondering, and it is just wondering at the moment, whether or not we're going to end up consolidating for a while and then getting some sort of topping, really choppy topping diamond formation. So you get a spike higher, it pauses around these levels, then you spike lower, then it consolidates and then breaks lower. What is interesting is up here, if we can get a spike all the way to a new high, that's around about 1950, 1940, 1950. And if we go to this daily chart, we'll go to the weekly chart first. Remember this isn't a close above yet. We've got a 61.8% fib here at 118.23, so a close below, and that is deemed to have held. If we go to this time frame, which is the daily time frame, again, if we screw into sort of 4-hour charts, we're starting to see some bearish divergence. So the chart makes a higher high, the oscillator makes a lower high, and that often indicates the start of a correction, or at least a move to the downside. But what I do like is this fib here, got a 261.8% fib. So again, it's non-farm Friday. Anything can happen on non-farm Friday. I'm wondering if we get just a dip lower in the dollar to get up to this extension level and then potentially form some sort of diamond pattern and then move lower. So I think it's going to be very tricky this afternoon. And my trade of the day is going to be to play golf. But you should go and play golf. I obviously won't be.
That's a pretty good tip, I think. I mean, I'm looking at charts now, and I just can't really, discern any sort of patterns that interest me. And as you say, with the payrolls are out today as well, it's just going to further distort things. So it may be, on what looking like it might be the hottest day of the year as well. One of those days where you just want to sit out, unless it just feels like it'd just be an absolute pub, and it is a lot of the time anyway. But
Yeah.
I can't really see much there myself, if I'm
No,
honest.
and to be fair, if you get that knee jerk reaction, you're not going to get any settling in price action until about 3-4 o'clock, and then by that point, you've only got 4 or 5 hours left of the week. And do you really want any open positions left over the weekend?
No, I would have said not.
I mean, I've had it so many times in the past where I've built up sort of steady profit through the week, and then seen something that I fancy on a Friday, got in it and just wiped out my weekly profit, and you just think, what was the point in that?
Yeah,
it's just
and then you got to sleep on that for the whole weekend as well before you can come in and do anything about it.
yeah, exactly. It's very frustrating normally on a Friday, non-farm Friday anyway.
Well, let's just have a quick look at some of these indices anyway, because that's what I'm covering. But downtrend here on the FTSE in the short term, still sort of sticking to that. Choppy price action yesterday, a bit of a rally from the lows, maybe a bit of a top pattern taking shape there. Early to call it, and probably quite speculative, but I think that's what I favour still. Intraday analysis looking to set up at 61.38. Of course, can't rule anything out on non-farm Friday. This is the DAX, similar sort of pattern, very choppy over the last few days or so. Nothing really to be done, I think, in there. And if you have been trying to trade it, you've probably been topped and tailed. Making new highs above that swing high there, and new lows below that swing low there before sort of just continuing to chop around. So
it's quite nasty that they both had little breakouts as well. They didn't stop around the number. They took out the stops first and then pulled back.
Yep. So you probably get stopped out there and stopped out there if you're looking to trade it in either way.
Probably a nice week for brokers this week, then.
Yeah, quite possibly. They might be the biggest winners. Gold still looking pretty robust. A little bit of a sell-off yesterday, but it came roaring back. No signs of that slowing down. Obviously, these moves are always more exaggerated on silver. A little bit of a calling off or a profit taking, possibly a bit of an engulfing candle there on the hourly. But looks to have steadied around $28. So I still think that's probably got higher to go as well. Oil, again, called off after hitting these highs at sort of 43.50, but choppy price action now seems to be holding around about 41.80. Possible that it goes higher from here. Still got a bullish bias on that. That's pretty much sums up anything that I'm looking at, and unfortunately it's all pretty chop without much definitive direction. So gun to the head yesterday. Let's have a quick look at this. I went short of Aussie dollar for the second day in a row, and for the second day in a row I got stopped out. And Ian, you managed to hold on to a win of a 0.05 R win.
I did spend that. I went down the pub and spent that last night. So
okay, so you're in debt now.
I'm I'm £2 in debt.
Doesn't even get a packet of peanuts, does it? That
no, gets half a pizza these days though. Dining. No, it wasn't on. Can't do it on Thursday.
Did you take advantage of that?
Sorry.
Did you take advantage of that on Monday?
Yeah, got some takeaway pizza. We're not supposed to have them takeaway, so I won't tell you where I went. It's supposed to be eat in for less. Yeah. I went down there and I ate one in with a couple of pints and a pal. Yeah. And then got a couple of pizzas for the boys. So on a Tuesday they do it reduced anyway, and then they halved it. So I got 2 pizzas for £10.
Wow.
And they were good deals. Fantastic pizzas. A lot less than my beer cost, put it that way.
Yeah, we tried to book up to go somewhere during the week, and everything was just absolutely packed out. No tables anywhere. Yeah, so he's obviously working.
Yeah, it's been all right here. It's not been frantic. There's 50 restaurants supposedly that are registered in Sheffield.
Right.
But yeah, might go out this weekend. You never know. Make the most of it while we can, because us over 50s aren't going to be able to do it for too much longer.
He'll be locked in, will you?
Well, I haven't got any health issues, not known health issues anyway, so I should be all right.
Okay, so yesterday we didn't make any ground overall on the gun to the head challenge. So today's a new day, and it's going to be very challenging because obviously we've got non-farm payrolls, and as we've just said, going through the charts, we can't really work out where we think these markets are going in the very short term.
I think euro yen's quite an interesting. I do fancy euro lower.
Right.
Looking at the basket, and this is euro sterling. This is what I've sort of looked at today. I'm just trying to think of something that's got half a decent value at current levels. So keep on getting these lower highs, and we've got some bespoke resistance at 46, and we've got a trendline resistance at 49. So I quite like that. And what I do also like, and I'm just thinking about knee-jerk reactions potentially with non-farm, is this wedge formation on euro yen. This is the prime short entry. And obviously, if euro pushes up to that level that we talked about, then there's ample scope for euro yen to take on higher levels. But because it is non-farm, I'm just wondering whether or not to go for this one, for the reaction break. But I'm undecided at the moment.
Okay, well, one of us needs to make a decision.
Right,
I haven't got anything.
We're really infusing people out there, but they're thinking, Christ, what are these two up to this morning? I'm going to go for this. God, I can only just get my R in, as you said. I had a naughty R last week, didn't I?
Yeah.
Which I shouldn't have been allowed, but I got away with it. Yeah, that'll have to do. So shorting euro sterling at 9033. Notice I'm keeping well away from the dollar and the yen. Stop 90.53. Target 89.80.
Okay, I'm going to take the upside for euro, I think, just because I want to try and hedge our bets a little bit. Looking at euro Oz now, just eyeballing this now, what stands out to me is this.
Squint, everybody. You've got to squint to see this one.
Squint. So I'm a little bit worried about that. Is that head and shoulders top? But overall,
it's like one of Steve's ones.
Yeah,
definitely
is bullish. I think this is the daily chart. We see obviously this spike up here, which was madness, but we've pulled all the way back. We're holding this trend line. So I do fancy euros higher versus the Australian dollar. Now, this is the hourly chart, and we've had a pullback close to this 38.2%. We seem to have seen some buying take place just ahead of it previously. I'm looking for just that little bit of a move lower to 63.80 on the intraday analysis to try and get long, but we're at 63.96 at the minute. So I'm going to jump in ahead of that. I'm going to just shift that over just so I don't lose that. Add a new one in. Buying here at 63, well, it's 95 now, 63.95. Target that swing high there, 65.50. And going to keep the same stop I've got on the intraday analysis actually at 63.40. So just under 3R on that one if it plays out, and a bit of a wider stop than I would usually use. But hopefully by taking opposing views on the euro, one of us will come out with some decent R on the day.
Hopefully both of us.
Yes,
it can
that
happen.
Would be nice.
The euro doesn't go anywhere. Sterling rallies to buggery, and so does Aussie.
Yeah,
Aussie sells off.
So.
Yeah,
fingers crossed, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything
so we
else
should be in sterling Aussie then, basically.
Yes, that's probably what we should be doing. So what does that look like?
We should be buying sterling Aussie.
Oh look, we've just been triggered on our intraday
analysis.
There you
go.
Right
look,
there,
we're in cancel the other two trades. We'll just have that one between us.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll
you got free trades for the price of two there, guys.
Yeah. Lovely. Look at that. Couldn't have married up any better, could it?
No, that could be Steve's trade, that one.
Yeah, we'll let Steve have that one. Yeah. Bury it if it loses. Anything else in on the docket? We've got non-farms, as we know. We're expecting 2.2 million jobs to be created from 4.8 million the previous month.
Why has everybody got different figures these days? FX Street got 1.6.
Right.
Let's see what investing.
What have you got for the unemployment rate?
Investing.com. What
unemployment rate is expected to fall to 10.5% from 11.1%.
10.5 from 11.1. That's the same.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at investing.com, see what they've got. Apart from loads. Unemployment rate, yeah, 10.5. Non-farm payroll, 1.474. So just ticking above FX Streets. So basically, the spread is 1.6 to 2.2.
Okay, I will keep an eye on those numbers then. Anything in that range.
Yeah.
Aside from that, we do have some Canadian data out at 1:30. We've got their employment rate, and we've also got the Canadian Ivy PMI index, which is due out at 3 p.m. So if you're in anything CAD going into the weekend, you can probably expect some decent movements in that as well.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much it.
Lovely.
If we are available and got some time later, then we could possibly do some live streaming over non-farms if it's not too sweltering hot.
If it's too hot, we'll be sat in our pants somewhere, won't we?
Yeah, in that paddling pool you can see just in the corner of my screen, probably.
Oh, nice.
I
bet you've got some beers in there already, haven't you?
Yeah,
that's the only reason we use a paddling pool around here, mate.
that's a good solid use of that resource.
Exactly.
Okay, well, let's leave it there.
Northern beer cooler.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Get some ice cubes in it. Cool it right down.
Yeah,
Right. Anyway, have a great week.
That.
They will have a great weekend if we don't speak to you before.
Enjoy.
Catch you soon.
Yep. Cheers, Joe.
Cheers, then. Bye bye.
Bye, buddy. Bye.